Hey y'all, Joanna Gaines here. Thinking about a home renovation is so exciting, isn't it? You start dreaming about fresh paint, new floors, or maybe even tearing down a wall to create that open space you've always wanted. But before we get carried away with fabric swatches and tile samples, there's something really important we need to chat about: the budget. Understanding renovation costs in 2025 is the first step to a successful project. It helps you plan realistically and avoid any unwelcome surprises down the road. Knowing what things might cost is super crucial. It's like planning a big family road trip. You wouldn't just hop in the car without an idea of how much gas you'll need or where you'll stay, right? Same goes for renovations. Having a good grasp of potential expenses helps you set achievable goals. This isn't about limiting your dreams, but about making them come true in a smart, manageable way. When you understand the costs, you can make informed decisions. Maybe you're choosing between two different countertop materials. Knowing the price difference helps you weigh those options. So, let's roll up our sleeves and get into the details. Alright, let's get down to the numbers. Talking about average renovation costs can be a little tricky because every home and every project is unique. On average, you might look at costs ranging anywhere from $100 to $250 per square foot for a mid-range renovation. A simple cosmetic update like fresh paint and new flooring will be on the lower end of that scale. But if you're planning something more extensive like moving walls or updating plumbing and electrical systems, you'll be looking at the higher end. So what makes these costs go up or down? Several key factors come into play. First is the type and scope of your project. A small bathroom refresh is going to cost significantly less than a full kitchen gut and remodel. The complexity of the work involved is a big driver. Are we just replacing fixtures or are we changing the entire layout? The more complex the job, the more labor and expertise it will require, which naturally increases the costs. Then there are the materials you choose. For example, laminate countertops are much more budget-friendly than high-end granite or quartz. It's all about balancing your aesthetic desires with your budget. Kitchens and bathrooms are two of the most popular rooms to renovate, and for good reason. They are the workhorses of the home, and updating them can make a huge difference in your daily life and your home's value. Let's start with kitchens. In 2025, a minor kitchen remodel, painting cabinets, updating hardware, a new backsplash, and maybe new countertops could range from $15,000 to $30,000. This can give your kitchen a fantastic facelift without a total overhaul. If you're dreaming bigger, like a major kitchen renovation, the costs will naturally be higher. This could involve changing the layout, installing all new custom cabinets, high-end appliances, new flooring, and updated lighting. For a project of this scale in 2025, you might be looking at a budget between $40,000 and $80,000, or even more for very large or luxury kitchens. Now let's talk bathrooms. For smaller cosmetic update to a guest bathroom, perhaps a new vanity, toilet, fresh paint, and new fixtures, you might spend between $7,000 and $15,000 in 2025. For a primary bathroom remodel, especially if you're expanding the space, adding a soaking tub, a separate walk-in shower, or custom tile work, the costs will be more substantial. You could be looking at a range of $20,000 to $40,000 or more. Things like heated floors, high-end fixtures, and custom vanities will push the price towards the higher end. A well-designed bathroom can truly add a touch of luxury and comfort to your everyday routine. It's about creating a little oasis, a place to refresh and unwind. Section 4. Big changes, full home makeovers, and how location plays a part. Sometimes a home needs more than just a kitchen or bathroom update. You might be considering a full home renovation. For a full home renovation in 2025, the costs are usually calculated per square foot, as we talked about earlier. If we're looking at that $100 to $250 per square foot range, a 2,000 square foot home could see renovation costs anywhere from $200,000 to $500,000. This typically includes things like new flooring throughout, fresh paint, updated electrical and plumbing systems, and often significant changes to the layout. The scope of a full home renovation can vary greatly. Some projects might focus on modernizing all the finishes and systems while keeping the existing footprint. Others might involve adding square footage, reconfiguring walls, or even adding a second story. Now let's talk about location. Where your home is located plays a surprisingly big role in renovation costs. Labor rates, material costs, and even permit fees can differ significantly from one region to another, and even in between cities within the same state. For example, renovating in a bustling metropolitan area often costs more than in a smaller town or rural setting. Always research costs specific to your area for the most reliable estimates. Section 5. Your renovation roadmap, budgeting like a pro. Alright friends, let's talk about one of my favorite parts. Budgeting. I know, it might not sound as exciting as picking out tile, but a smart budget is the foundation of a stress-free renovation. The very first step is to get multiple quotes from reputable contractors. Don't just go with the first person you talk to. Aim for at least 3 detailed quotes. This will give you a good sense of the fair market price for your project in your area. Make sure each quote outlines the scope of work clearly so you're comparing apples to apples. Once you have your quotes, it's time to build in a contingency fund. I always recommend setting aside an extra 10 to 20% of your total project cost for unexpected issues. In renovations, especially with older homes, you never quite know what you might find once you open up walls. Next up is prioritizing. Sit down and make a list of your must-haves versus your nice-to-haves. This helps you allocate your funds wisely, ensuring the most important aspects of your renovation are covered. A well-managed budget leads to a renovation you can truly enjoy without lingering financial worries. Section 6. Sunshine and Sawdust. Special renovation costs in South Florida and final thoughts. Renovating in beautiful South Florida, including areas like Miami, comes with its own unique set of considerations that can impact your budget. The climate here is a big one. With the heat, humidity, and potential for hurricanes, you'll want to choose materials wisely. For example, impact-resistant windows and doors are often a necessity, and they can be more expensive than standard options. You'll also want to think about moisture-resistant materials for interiors to prevent mold and mildew, which can add to the cost of things like drywall and insulation. Labor costs in South Florida can also be on the higher side compared to some other regions. There's a high demand for skilled construction labor, especially in thriving areas like Miami. Permitting processes in some South Florida municipalities can also be quite rigorous and sometimes lengthy, which can indirectly add to costs if it extends project timelines. Beyond these factors, the general desire for indoor-outdoor living in South Florida often influences renovation choices and costs. Many homeowners want to create beautiful outdoor spaces like patios, lanais, or even outdoor kitchens. High-end finishes and luxury amenities are also popular in many South Florida communities, which can drive up the average cost per square foot if you're aiming for that kind of look and feel. So as we wrap up, remember that understanding renovation costs is truly key to planning a successful and joyful home transformation in 2025. Whether you're in South Florida or anywhere else, equally Por lay we was ting. Happy renovating, y'all.